I'm going to say something that I'm going to have to explain, so give me a minute, okay? Don't jump to any conclusions. Is that fair? Stephon Gilmore better not want to play for the Panthers. He better really not want to play for the Panthers. Let me explain why. He hasn't signed with anyone yet, and we have a statement here that he gave to Josina Anderson that I'll read for you. But for those of you that don't know who Stephon Gilmore is, he's a former Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL, former Panther. He's a cornerback, which is a position of need. He played his college ball at South Carolina. Prior to that, he played his high school football in, I believe, Rock Hill, South Carolina, where he happened at both stops, both in high school and college. He was a teammate of Jadeveon Clowney, who was one of the big free agency signings for the Panthers this year. So he is at a position of need. He has a history with the Panthers. He has a history with one of your best players. And he's a veteran free agent with a history of being good in the NFL that is available. There's the background. Stephon Gilmore told Josina Anderson, there are still some good corners and safeties out there, like Justin Simmons and myself, that are still not signed. Honestly, I'm still being patient and staying ready until teams see what they have in training camp. But you mean to tell me, among 32 teams, that there are 64 starting corners that are better than me? I don't think that. If teams want to win, I think they should sign the best players. I know I'm still a starter in the league. I started games last year, but the season doesn't start until September. We got a while. That's what Stephon Gilmore told Josina Anderson. The reason why I say he better not want to play with the Panthers is because if I learn that the Panthers haven't been pursuing him, I'm going to be upset. If I learn that the Panthers haven't been trying to get him to sign, didn't make an offer, haven't talked to his agent, then we are in for a long run with Dan Morgan and the crew running the Panthers. Right? I hope they reached out. I hope they said, hey, are you interested? We can work on a contract. Let me talk to your representation. And I hope they were rebuffed, and they said, no, he's choosing to wait. He's choosing not to sign. Because he wants to play for a contender, or because he wants to make more money, or because he thinks there's a better role for him elsewhere after an injury. I hope they were turned down. For all the reasons I said, and then some, right? It is a position of need for the Panthers. It is a premium position just in the NFL, right? Corners are worth a lot. He has the connection to Jadeveon Clowney. He's played for Carolina in the past. And then lastly, he can be a leader. Who do you think is going to have more weight to throw around in the locker room than somebody who's won a Defensive Player of the Year? Who could be a better mentor to J.C. Horn? Who could be a better mentor to Derek Brown? Who could be a better mentor to Bryce Young for things like, hey, here's what elite corners are going to try to do against you. Same with Xavier Legette. Hey, Xavier Legette, let's get together. Let's run one-on-ones during practice. Let's make sure when you're up, I'm up. And that way, when I beat you, I can show you how I did it. And you can be ready for it when some other corner that's good in the NFL tries to use that technique against you later.
I mean, for all we know, Jadeveon Clowney's probably been trying harder to recruit.
I hope so.
Stephon Gilmore than Dan Morgan has.
And well, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, if you're the Panthers and you haven't called up Jadeveon and said, like, hey, talk to your boy.
Right.
Then we've got issues. Because the other part of it is the Panthers are not going to be attractive to many free agents.
Nope.
Right? They can go win free agents the traditional way, which is offer the most money, right? Younger free agents often go to the highest bidder because they don't have bleep you money yet, right? They don't have forget you money yet. They want to make sure their kids don't have to pay for their college education. So they're hunting money. The Panthers can get those free agents if they have they have the highest bid. Now in free agency, you have guys with options. Stephon Gilmore's made money, lots of it, right? And he has the security to wait around for a corner to get hurt if he wants to, or to wait for a Super Bowl contender to call if he wants to. And I'm not gonna disparage him for doing that. But the Panthers do have a couple ins with him, right? He has played there. You brought it up. They can have his high school teammate talk about, hey, let's come light it up like we did in the 4A state regional finals, right? Like they can go way back.
And also going back to that 2021 season when Gilmore did play for the Panthers, he was a Pro Bowler.
Yep.
And like proved himself as one of the legit best defensive backs in the league.
And to take it one step further, he's from South Carolina.
That too.
Right? If you want, like, I don't know, aunt and uncle and grandma and grandpa and your old high school friends to be able to come watch you play, well, yeah, you can wait for that offer from the Rams or the Cowboys again or the Chiefs or whatever, but it's going to be a longer drive.
Heck, have Xavier Legette call him and say, look, I know you play on
Another
two opposite
South
sides of the
Carolina
ball. But yeah, you're from South Carolina. I'm from South Carolina. I'm looking for a role model.
Let's go ride horses.
This might be a little bit of whispering into Xavier Legette's ear on what to say, but anything you can do to get him here.
Or not. I'm just saying, like, you have an opportunity here, and if you're the Panthers, I keep coming back to this with the Panthers offseason. This has to be the offseason of no stone unturned, right? You cannot leave any change on the table, right? You can't afford it. You can't afford it, right? You can't leave any meat on the bone. You can't afford it. You have to get every last, like, you know the people, right? We were actually just having this debate. Somebody showed me a picture in the office the other day of a corn on the cob and said, is this corn on the cob done?
Interesting. Somebody
had eaten the corn on the cob, and to be completely honest, they left too many kernels. It was you didn't typewriter it enough. Ding, ding. Like it wasn't a well done. But they had gotten into debate. We were getting into debate. I think there's a happy medium, right? Apple cores, corn on the cob. Like you better get most of it. But if you go back and you're like gnawing away, making sure you get every single, it's like it's too much. The Panthers need to do too much.
It's like Dave Canals and Dan Moore have been saying, try to get as many players to align with the alignment.
Yeah, the alignment. We should have trademarked that when they first started saying it. When the Panthers offseason started, there's a certain amount of value they could have gone to get. I believe they've left meat on the bone in the Brian Burns trade, right? I believe they left meat on the bone when they traded up in the second round to go get Jonathan Brooks. These are moments where if you didn't need to get every little bit of value everywhere, those moves are luxuries. I think they misplayed those. I think the Deontay Johnson trade was a squeeze every last value juice out of the orange. I think the A'Shawn Robinson, some of the free agency deals were good ones. I think they need to continue to look for value everywhere they can. This is the part of the corn on the cob where some might say you're done eating, but you can't be. You got to go get the last little bit. Stephon Gilmore could be the last little bit, and I hope they're not letting that one walk away unless Stephon Gilmore simply said, I don't want it, right? No. That's on him. You can't change someone's free will. But if they haven't called, I'm going to be upset.